Just want to welcome everyone to our fourth webinar in our second Tuesday webinar series. We just have one webinar left, and we're happy to be spending today's webinar with you all. We know so many of you personally. We really consider you our dear friends. And when you're celebrating a special day, you want to be with friends, and today is a very special day. You might have noticed in the chat, it's Julius's birthday. And so he's our speaker today. And so I know that Julius is excited to be spending today with all of you, like it's a big party. Our last webinar will be, so happy birthday, Julius. Our last webinar will be about teaching next generation science standards with SKYS. You may know that Julius and I are academically trained as scientists, so we're very excited about that last webinar. And because many of us will be back in the classroom teaching and need to leave promptly when school ends so that things can be disinfected, we'll be shifting the time. So based on feedback we had received, it sounded like shifting the time to a 5 p.m. start time for the last webinar. So Tuesday, May 11th, but starting at 5 p.m. was a good option. However, please feel free to share your opinion in the chat. We'll review it later and do our best to accommodate you all. Today, we're excited about a super interesting topic. Regardless of whether or not you teach early literacy, all of us at some point are trying to teach kids to read, either our own kids or our friends. And it's a fascinating subject, and it's kind of hard to remember how you learned to read. So I think you'll all be interested in hearing Julius's presentation and seeing the new tools that he's created for you to use. I'd like to remind everyone that schools are still getting started with SKYS, and that schools that get started this time of year have some of the strongest starts in the fall because they're excited about SKYS and they use it over the summer. So just so you know, if you have people, friends, family, colleagues, kids that are in schools that you would like to introduce to SKYS, please just let me know. You can put your name and email in the chat. I'll also put my name and email and phone number in the chat so that you can reach out to me and we can let them know how we help them get started. And for those of you today that are new to SKYS, we also have a special opportunity for you to receive support, and I'll put that into the chat. So if, let me just paste this here. So there's the link here for those new to SKYS. There's the link, and then here's my phone number, which texting is okay. So you guys can call or text me anytime, and I'm happy to help your friends and colleagues get started with SKYS. But with that link, you can get a personal one-on-one meeting. And today we also are joined by two fantastic LAUSD SKYS teacher trainers, Ying Yang and Christina Machado, who will be in breakout rooms afterwards for those of you if you want to get started. But we also have several other LAUSD teachers that will be leading breakout rooms about early literacy. So I hope you will enjoy today's presentation. And without further ado, I'd like to turn it over to the birthday boy, Julius.
Thanks. I'm 42, so birthdays don't get celebrated as often now, but thank you for the good wishes, everyone. And I prefer to think of this as the first birthday or 0th birthday for all the exciting SKYS Phonics features we're adding to SKYS now. So the big question, of course, is how can we teach kids how to read? And I didn't know the answer to that question, but many of you guys do know the answer to that question because this is what you do on a daily basis. So I was very grateful to be able to talk to two teachers, Miss Canal from San Pasqual Elementary and Miss Solis, also from San Pasqual Elementary, at length about phonics and how kids learn to read and how we could best put it into something like SKYS. A lot of the stuff we're doing today is based on these conversations. Okay, so a few things I learned from them when I talked to them was even sounds that, seem to have one syllable, like cat, dog, or limb, sog, palm, nud, whatever, they're actually made of 3 sounds combined together. Oh my gosh, right? So kids have to learn how to combine these 3 sounds together, consonant, vowel, and consonant. And kids are expected not just to memorize all these words, they're expected to know how to sound out these words too. So they can't just, memorize thousands of words. They have to know all these sounds and how they blend together. To make things extra tricky, they even give kids nonsense words on tests like Dibbles that they can't memorize, and they need to be able to sound them out from scratch. So that's a big task. The other funny thing is after kindergarten, kids start to learn more complex sounds and more complex rules. So HEA somehow turns into one sound. The S and the T here are two sounds blended together, but the S and the H here combine to make just one sound. And there's all these, the Y suddenly becomes a long E. What is all this madness? It's very complex. And we got to teach it to kindergartners and first graders. So we got to somehow, help this process along, provide tools that make it easier to do this. And finally, there are just words that you're just not going to want to take the time to sound out, like these fry words, abandoned, prepare, temperature. And some of these students just need to know just by looking at them, these sight words. And so we want to have tools to make it easy to teach kids sight words at the same time. And so putting this all together, what sort of things can we put in disguise to help this process along? So the first thing is, we know you guys are going back onto campus, and there's going to be a lot of even more synchronous interactive teaching. What tools can we provide to make phonics not only useful, but really fun and interactive? So we've created this thing called Phonics Explorer. You click ... and you click phonics. And what you do with Phonics Explorer is you just start typing in words. So I can type in like the word dip, D-I-P, and it automatically breaks it up. Slowly, quickly. I can change the word, of course. I could be like, that was cool. I want the word cup. C.
Cup.
And in fact, you can type any word in. Maybe the word cat.
Cat.
Slowly, quickly.
Cat.
And if you want kids to really listen to some part of the phoneme, you can even drag the slider over.
Cat. Cat.
So, just like you do. But this is something kids can do too. So, of course, we didn't just put all the words in the dictionary into this. You can put any nonsense word in from Dibbles that you want, like the examples, limb.
Limb.
Or sog.
Sog.
Or palm. So all the nonsense words you can have. Of course, the question is, can we go longer than 3 characters? We didn't just program in all the 3-character words, right? Let's try adding more characters to this. So we have cap.
Cap.
What if we add an E to it? What happens then? You guys are nodding. You know what happens then. Something happened to the A.
Cape.
Oh, wow. The short A turned into a long A. That's kind of cool. The silent E did that. What if we add an R here? Oh, look. Now we have an R-controlled vowel.
Caper. Caper.
Oh, so this is kind of fun. You can just be doing this in front of the kids, typing in words, changing things, substituting things, and seeing what happens. Of course, things like tap work, tap. You got the long A there. And you got the
taper.
You got the R-controlled vowel. That bossy R that makes the sound. Okay. So that's one thing. We have all these rules built in, and they work. Now we have the other thing in the Dibbles thing that we showed, which is sometimes sounds go together. They form a digraph, and sometimes they're spread apart but still blended together, called a blend. So for example, if we have a word like chin, ch is a digraph. It just becomes one sound, and the program knows that, so it puts them together.
Chin.
Right?
Chin.
But if you have something like broom, bra, is two separate things. And the program knows that too. So it just blends them together.
Broom.
Right?
Broom.
Broom. And it also knows that the OO is a special diphthong. So it goes ooh, ooh, and it has that in there as well. It's all built in. The program knows how to do this stuff. Vowels. Vowels are kind of funny too. You get these vowel teams. Vowels can also be digraphs or blends. So we can have something like braid. The AI is one sound, and the program knows that, so it puts it together as one sound. It sounds kind of like a long A. A.
Braid.
And something like round, the OU, it's actually becomes sort of a blend. Ooh, ooh, you can hear both vowels. So again, it knows that.
Round.
Round. Knows that. And this is something, of course, you can be like, oh, oh. So anyway, phonics is kind of fun to begin with, but this makes it even more entertaining because you can be typing in different words and students can be practicing things. So we have some of these dibbles words like weed, stall, shunky, and I can just type those in just to confirm that it works. Weed, the HEA, it automatically knows that it's a long E.
E.
Weed. Stolt, it knows that S and the T are a blend.
Stolt. Stolt.
And finally, it knows shunky. It knows that it's a sh, a digraph.
Chunky.
Okay, so anyway, we have this cool phonics engine built in disguise now that can handle all your phonics needs. Okay, so this is really, oh wait, one last thing I want to show. It does long words too. So one of the words that was on the third Dibbles card was temperature. Temperature. You might be like, oh, it's just a word you have to know. You're not going to sound that out. But in case you had a kid who really just wanted to know how to sound like the word temperature, temperature. Hey, why not? Why not?
Temperature.
That's, I believe, the 662nd fry word, or even something like adjective, which I believe is the 986th fry word.
Adjective.
So, you know, they're supposed to know these by sight, but if they ever want to sound out a long word, they can do it. Just type it in. Skies can do it. Okay. So this is all great for interactive teaching when you're up in front and you're trying to explain all this stuff. But you guys know that you need more than that, right? You actually want, you know, questions that students can review on their own, and you would like them to be able to make their own recordings. You would like them to have some independent work as well. And so not only can you do this Phonics Explorer, we now have this so-called Phonics card, where you can put this little thing into something that the students can explore on their own. So let me give an example. Let's say we go back to the word cup. I'm going to make a phonics card. So I'm going to click plus here, make quiz card, and you'll notice there's something called phonics now. All I'm going to do is type in the word cup. Okay, that's it. Oh, what the heck. Let me go ahead and add a picture of a cup as well. Oh, a sippy cup. That's kind of cool. I'll select it. So now we have just a picture of a cup and the word cup. Now, all I'm going to do is hit save. And now you have a little thing that the students can do on their own. They can clip the phonemes. They can play it back. They can blend it. Cup. They can play back the words. This is something they can do 100% on their own. If you want to, you can even turn off one thing or the other. So you could be like, I want just the phonemes. And I would like you students to be able to blend them. So you have phonemes, and then the students can record themselves blending it all together. Or maybe let's make a copy of this card. Maybe you want to make it so that you have the word pronunciation, but no phonemes. And you go, students.
Cup. Cup.
I would like you guys to be able to segment this. I would like you to break it down into phonemes. So you can ask students to do either one. These are both fun exercises for them to do. And you can make a bunch of these. Okay, any questions so far?
Julius, there was just one in the chat that says, is this available on iPads yet?
It'll be available for students to play back these phonics cards, I think in 2 days. By the end of the week for sure.
I couldn't answer it, so I thought I'd ask you now. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Also,
Yes,
like for kindergarten, they really need to hear like the sound clearly. So, but when I'm hearing it say it, and you know, my computer's turned up pretty loud, it's not really clear. So like the sound for the letter R and the sound for the letter U, they almost sound like identical. Is there a way for the sound to be said, for it to be enunciated more so than it is?
Yeah, so right now we're using like recordings we're getting off our speech synthesizer, but we would love it if we could record like even more enunciated phonemes. In fact, if we have any volunteers for giving some really good short vowels, some really good long vowels, some really good consonants, we'd be happy to record you guys as well. This is just the first version, and we would love to make even more clear sounds so that the phonemes are very, very, very distinct.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Okay, so of course, you know, when you're doing these sort of lessons, you don't just have one word, you have like 10 words, right? Or 12 words or something like that. So if you want to make a whole bunch of phonics cards, we not only have this, we have a generator. You can hit plus, make quiz card, and generator. And so I can go, oh, look, there's all these phonics generators now. I'm going to make a list of phonics cards. So I could be like apple, banana, pear, include a picture, include the phonemes, include the word pronunciation, and oh, students should attach a recording. And if I click this, I can have a list of 20 words if I want, and it will make 20 phonics cards for my students to be able to practice blending, segmentation, or just recording things back. So we have apple, we have banana.
Apple, banana, pear.
And now they can record things back, and they can also play back the phonemes. Banana. Okay. But of course, you know, you don't want to have to go around looking for word lists all the time. Like, you know, you want the program to know some of these words. So in addition to having a Phonics Explorer, a Phonics card, and a Phonics generator, we also have a lot of dictionaries. So let me show how some of these things work. Let's say we have an initial letter sound. Like we have the word stay, S-T-A-Y, and we want to find other words with that same initial st sound. We have a generator where we can just type in that word and it will come up with a whole bunch of other words with the same initial sound. Let me illustrate. Make quiz card, generator, and I'm going to go here to initial sound phonics. So I'm going to just type in the word stay, and it's got a bunch of crazy stuff you can do about like whether you want digraphs or blends or what fry level you want to go up to or things like that, you know, because some kids have more advanced vocabularies they've learned than others. But let's just say it doesn't matter. These words can be complicated. I'm going to make 6 words with the same ST sound. And I'm just going to go ahead and click make cards. If you just want like CBC words, it'll make just CBC words. If you're like blends are okay, it'll make blends. If you're like, you can take it from the fry list, it'll take it from the fry list. It'll do whatever you want at whatever level you want. So it's got step, it's got stake, it's got stretched, it's got start, it's got stage, and it's got stark. You might have to check the images. Some of them aren't right. So like stark, like that's not really an image for stark. But you know, 1 out of 6 isn't too bad. So initial letter sounds work. But that's just the onset. What about the rhyme? What if you want rhyming words? Well, let's do the same thing. Plus, make quiz card, generator. But now I'm going to say rhyming. But you know what? This time, instead of having, like 10 different cards, I'm just going to put all the words on one card. And maybe the kids can just record themselves saying these words, 20 at a time. I'm going to type in the word stay. Students attach recording. And I'm going to go ahead and press make cards. And now you see a bunch of other words that rhyme with the word stay. Hey, say, they, pay, may, bray, lay, cafe. Oh, cafe, that's a cool one. Ray, bay, away, play, today, day, away. So rhyming is very easy. Word families you can do. Just type in the word, boom, it generates everything in that word family for you with pictures or anything that you want to practice with your students.
Julius, I'm so sorry. It's Melanie.
Yes, hey.
Can you, that was really quick. What did you click for the for 20 words to fit on one card? Can you say that one more time? I'm so sorry.
Yes, absolutely. Plus, make quiz card
Right.
generator. But now I clicked on where it says rhyme. Instead of rhyme phonics, I clicked rhyme word list.
Word list. Thank you.
Right. So phonics is like one card at a time. Word list is like a whole bunch of words at a time for them to record.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Oh, I skipped that whole part of my presentation. Let me go back because this is kind of cool. No, actually, I didn't skip that part. Okay, I still got it. I still remember. Okay, so we have all these rhyming words that they can just say. Okay, so we've done initial words. We've done rhyming. So I believe that covers some important kinder phonics Common Core standards. What about CBC words? We should be able to do CBC words too, right? So in fact, we have some Cbc generators. So I can do make quiz card. Oops, generator. And it's called Cdc Phonics. Okay, now this generator is crazy. It looks complicated, but this is because we know that you guys want a lot of options in terms of the CBC words you generate. For example, if you're midway through kindergarten, you may not have covered all the vowels, right? You may have only covered a few of them. Not all the vowels, all the consonants. You may have only covered a few of the consonants, and you don't want to get words from all the consonants. You want to be able to select which consonants to use. Or maybe you only want the A's and the E's. So you can select any consonants you've done, any vowels you've done, anything you've done, and it will restrict the CBC words to just the ones you've selected. So it can be completely customized to the level that your class is currently at. You don't have to go hunting through like Teachers Pay Teachers for 30 different worksheets. You just click it and it's already generated for you. So let's just generate some simple CBC words. It could be any consonant, any vowel, any consonant. And I'm just going to say 6. And let's say I can specify R control. I can specify silent E's. I'm going to include pictures, include recordings. And now I'm going to have 6 CBC words. Just simple, one consonant, one vowel, one consonant. So it's making cards, Okay. Boom, let's see. Hug, yin, wit, ya, lag, and ra. So some of these, the AW is weird. You might want to delete them, but everything else looks pretty good. Yin. So it can generate a whole bunch of CBC words for you. It can also generate things that are a little bit more complicated than that. For example, if I'm like, oh, you know what? I actually want to be able to have, digraphs and blends and all that other fancy stuff. You can say, okay, I want blends. I want digraphs. I want vowel blends. I want vowel digraphs. I want final consonants blended with digraphs. Or you can just specify the ones that you want. Like if you're like, I want everything to start with a blah, you can do that as well. It's very flexible. So I'm going to do that now. It just occurred to me, I probably should have turned off regular consonants. Otherwise, it might actually just use those. Yeah, so now we see things like husk, quiz, blot, ream, duet, thaws. So words with a little bit more complexity to them, more suitable for like 1st or 2nd grade once they've learned all of these rules. And so we've got a really powerful generator that can do pretty much anything you want. You don't have to go searching around for words anymore. It's all there. And we spent like the weekend like sifting through like thousands of words to get rid of all the bad ones. So, but if you see a bad word, just let us know. It should be everything. We've like 3 people have gone through the words now to check. Okay. The last thing I want to point out is that these words don't have to be real words. We can also generate nonsense words using an algorithm very similar to what Dibbles uses to generate their words based on frequency analysis. That was kind of fun to implement as well. So I can click like plus. Let me just make a word list. And I'm like, you know what? I would like to have 30 CVC words that are nonsense words for my students to practice on. Like you can do that. You can be like, the words don't have to be real. I would like a recording, please. And I would like 30 of these words. You can just go ahead and click on them. And now suddenly, you have your very own mini Dibbles assessment for your students to practice. Fa, sieve, yell, yam, dus, rar, so, whatever. Nonsense words. And it can be more complicated as well. I can be like, make quiz card, generator. And I can be like, ooh, I want my CVC words, but now I want to have blends, digraphs, you know, diphthongs, whatever. No more regular consonants. I want like fancy consonants. And I want like 20 of these for higher grade levels. I know I'm going very fast, but the options will make sense once you click on them. And now we have like fancy nonsense word like chond and stond and stish and this and thund for your students to practice sounding out. Okay. Any questions about this? Any questions about the CBC generator?
Julius, I just wanted to ask, did you have to write nonsense words somewhere in there or did I miss it?
Oh, yes. So there's an option that says words are real, and you just have to not check that option. So if you go to CVC plus word list, there's this thing here that says words are real. And if you unclick that, then it makes nonsense words. So it either makes dictionary words or nonsense words.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions?
I do. On this same system, do you have it where it wouldn't have so many words in a row? I know you can tell it less words, but actually break down the sounds for like that will say it for the children. I have some kindergartners that are struggling with blending it all together. They'll tell me individual sounds, but do you have a card where it'll let them blend and teach them the blending sounds of nonsense words?
Yeah. Yeah. So you can do that. If you can do that with Cbc Phonics. So let's say I go to like make quiz card, generator, and I'm like Cbc Phonics. And I'm just like, okay, I'm going to have some blends here. I'll have some blends here. I'm going to make like 10 of these cards. And I would like to have the phonemes and the word pronunciations and nonsense words. So I uncheck words are real. I can go ahead and make those. Oh, I forgot to say students attach recordings. But okay, so it's going to take some time to make it. So it's got like Thash.
Ash. Patch.
And
Tend.
so it spells it out, and it also does the thing. And they can like also do the fun like the
End.
if they want.
Excellent. Thank you. That's really useful, especially for my non-English speaking families. This really helps the parents too. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And if you know, yeah, we'll work on getting better phonemes. So it'll be even more clear for your students. Okay, yeah. So you see, some of these are blends and some of these are digraphs, and you can select which ones you want. Okay. Any other?
Do you have something for multisyllabic words, like helping with breaking down syllables?
Ooh.
And then blending? That might be later, I guess.
You can
Something to do for your next project.
Yeah, I mean, you can put those like, what you call it, you can put any word into the phonics generator. So if I'm like, what's a good word? Underline. Let's try underline. If I'm like general phonics and I type in like underline as a word, it won't break it into. I'll show you what it does. I mean, it'll be like, you know. It'll break it down into the individual phonemes. It won't break it down into compound words, but that could be a good thing to do as well. So that leads into any other questions, by the way? Okay, no, cool, because that leads into the last part, which is sight words. Yeah, I mean, multi-syllable words that you just recognize like that. And Miss Canal introduced me to the idea of the fry words. So the fry words, I think you guys are all familiar with. And there's 1,000 fry words. But what she did is she has a template which looks like a turtle and the shell. And the shell has 20 spots on its shell, right? So each turtle has 20 fry words. So we have 50 turtles times 20 words per turtle makes 1,000 fry words. I guess I could have just said that. So we think of these turtles as level. Like there's a level 1 turtle with all the very simple words, and then there's a level 50 turtle with like all the huge, long, complicated words. So that's the way Skies handles them now, by turtle level, which might be something unique to Canal or San Pasquale or whatever, but I like it, so it's going to stay that way. So we're going to have phonics. Oops, sorry. One more generator. We're going to have generator. But this time I'm going to go to sight word pronunciation. So I could be like, okay, I want 10 cards, and we're at turtle number, 10. So maybe I want things just from turtle number 8 to turtle number 10. And what it's going to do, it's going to pick 10 sight words from those 3 turtles, 8, 9, and 10, for students to practice. So you could just have them practice a few sight words every day, maybe going 1 or 2 turtles back for review. And now you see that it's drawing from that database of those 1,000 words, and it's getting just the ones at their level, and it's making the cards.
Julius, maybe I missed this, but do you have a place that tells me what words are on each turtle?
No.
Okay.
That would be useful, huh? You mother, yeah. I wonder how I could do that. I'll figure something out. Maybe just a menu option that shows all the different fry words.
Or an email that you send out to us all and we just look at. That works too.
Yeah, I mean, like I have I have the words like right here. But yeah, it's like 1,000. It's a file with like 1,000 words on it. And that's what Skies uses. So I can just email everyone the fry words. But yeah, you can draw from the words, or you can just make a card with like, I want to see all the words, like what you call it, sight word list. I want to see the 20 words on turtle number 30. And then we'll just show the words on turtle number 30. Sum, wild, members, record, return, drive. And students can just record themselves saying it. Now, they're not going to be in a sentence. That would be, I haven't figured out how to do that. But it'll just list the words and the students can practice saying them. And then you can check their fluency. Okay. I think that's it. Yep, that's all I have.